Hey guys, Wordy Nerd here, back with another video. Today, we'll be looking at many tips and techniques to build a better or amazing FLL robot. If you haven't watched Pluto, an amazing FLL robot, I would recommend you go watch parts 1 and 2, which are uploaded on my channel. I will put a link to them in the description. In this video, we will cover many tips and techniques that I use to build a good FLL robots which will perform well in competition. Enjoy! One major tip I have for you is to make a box robot. As you see, this robot kind of looks like a box, and it is intended to. It's very easy to fit attachments onto a box robot, and they can square up against the walls because they are, again, smooth on the side. That way you can have more accurate position starting and base. One of the most important tips I can give you when building an FLL robot is to make sure your attachments can be easily put on and pulled off. Modular. The reason for this is because you only have a limited 2 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock. And if your team wants to complete a lot of missions, that space is very limited. So you don't want to have to spend a lot of time in base pulling off attachments and putting them back on with pins stuck in there, and then you have to pull those off, which take a lot of extra time. Instead, I would recommend the gearing system. A popular form of this is dog gears, which I have showcased in my past videos with my old robot. But now I have decided that these small black gears are better because they have more points of contact. The dog gears only have 4 points of contact, so when you put them in, there's a high chance that they might not make it, so you'll have to manually turn whatever attachment you have in order for the dog gears to work. That spends more time in base, which is not necessary. With these black gears, there are way more points of contact than the dog gears, so I can just simply slip it in and it will be fine. Unlike the dog gears, which may not work sometimes. The whole point of having modular attachments is to save time, so I feel that this method is better than the dog gears. And now that you have this, you can easily put it on and pull it off. And it will be flush with the robot. That way, you can put on your attachments, pull them off, and they will run smoothly, and you will save time in base. Another tip that I want to give you is wiring. As we all know, in order to power a motor or a sensor, you need to wire it to your main control center, the brick. The problem with this is that I see many teams going around and their wires are very loose, dragging along the floors, the wheels, and hindering the robot because of the friction of the rubber. As you see on this robot, I have many points where I connect the wires to certain areas, such as the spool here and the spool here, which many wires wrap around. This is so the wires can stay stable and they won't mess up the robot when it's performing its tasks. Wiring is an easy detail to overlook, but is very important. While it may seem obvious when programming, one of the features that many teams overlook is the use of sensors. This will hinder their performance and reliability of the robot at the competition. Sensors are a great feature that LEGO has given us. And as you can see, I have 2 color sensors here, and I have a gyro sensor being compact, hidden in the middle of the empty area of my robot. The 2 color sensors allow for line detection, line squaring, and line following, while the gyro sensor allows the robot to move straight and turn accurately. The reason for these is that if you don't have it, your robot tends to be less reliable, because then your robot is just blindly following the directions of the motors and not checking for itself to see whether it is in the right position. I will make videos soon explaining how to use these sensors to improve the reliability of your robot in FLL. Back on the issue of reliability, a way to increase the reliability of your robot in addition to use of sensors is to use small wheels. If you are interested to learn more on this topic, you can check out my video on those wheels pros and cons and which wheel is the best for your FLL robot, which has a link in the description. The reason I think small wheels are better is because they increase accuracy while still having about the same amount of speed. They increase accuracy because with each turn, they turn less, which means you can be more accurate with your degrees. And in addition to that, small wheels have less of a backlash, therefore making your robot more accurate. Another obvious detail that many teams seem to overlook is the compactness of your robot. I go over the sizing of this robot in the video showcasing this, which has, again, a link in the description. But compactness is very good, and it's a good feature to have. That way, your robot can fit into base, not getting penalties, and it can run around the board, completing tasks without running into missions, which happens sometimes when your robot is too large. So you have to be very careful, otherwise it will run into an obstacle and you will have to bring it back to base. A penalty and -5 points, or a point deduction of the points you gain at the end of the round, which isn't good. That is why having a compact robot is a good idea. The last thing I want to share with you guys are the details that are very small, easy to miss, but also very important. These include changing batteries, the plugging in and pulling out of wires, and how to make your attachments modular, and what do you use to do it. As you see, I've made cutouts on the board. That way it's easy to plug in and pull out wires, as well as your USB cable if you're using that to program your robot. It is a very simple process to change the batteries on this robot, which I showcase on the video that stars this robot, Pluto, an amazing FLL robot, which has a link in the description. I also used black gears this time instead of dog gears. I will make a video explaining why I did this. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to let me know. If you want to check out my website, that will have a link in the description. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you soon.